and welcome to Culture of Caring. I'm your host, Natalie Boyle, and today we are going to talk about one of my most favorite things, which is North Texas Giving Day. And we'll explain a little bit about it in a minute, but we have a fantastic guest on today. We have Caitlin Guthrow, who is from Communities Foundation of Texas. Caitlin, we are so happy to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's good to see you.
Absolutely. It's good to see you too, always. So Caitlin, will you just start us off? What is North Texas Giving Day?
Right, exactly. Well, we like to refer to it as the most generous month of the year. It's an online giving event that actually has grown into the country's largest community-wide giving event.
That's fantastic.
Right, and it's a way that we just bring the community together to lift up and support local nonprofits, whether that's through financial support, volunteer support, joining their board, what have you.
I love it. And it is, as I said, it is one of my favorite times of the year. And I think the thing that I really love about it is its collaborative nature,
Yes.
right? You know, one of our key values is that we do collaborate, and we believe that there's enough for everybody. We believe in this world of
Yes.
abundance. And I think that you guys at CFT do a really good job of trying to create that collaborative spirit.
Well, there is no way we could do this on our own. I mean, Communities Foundation of Texas started this in 2009. We are heading, I'm wearing my lovely shirt on September 22nd, our 14th annual North Texas Giving Day. And the day has just grown exponentially. I don't think we ever imagined it would grow into such a region-wide movement. I mean, last year, the community raised over $66 million.
Wow.
For over 3,300 nonprofits. So there's no way that we could do this on our own. So we partner with individuals, foundations, companies, but also to your point, Natalie, we see participating nonprofits supporting other nonprofits through their campaigns, which is, I love to see that.
Yeah. It's great. And that's something that, we have been doing, and we're going to actually be having an event coming up.
Yes.
I think when this goes on, because, you got to play the podcast like time forward and back, and you don't know what day you're going to be. You're recording on one day, and then you're going to people listen to it on another day. But we will have had our Comerica event.
Okay,
and you know what? I'm actually going to pause here because I kind of led into it to show a quick video recap. This is something Comerica has been our prime sponsor for the last few years, and not only do they put in matching funds for us, but we do this large event, and the whole goal of it is we invite a bunch of other nonprofits, and everybody is there together to kind of celebrate, have fun, but also, if our supporters are coming, they learn about all the other organizations too.
Yes.
And so it's really that fun thing. And this year we're doing like a sticker collection thing, so kids that come through, like they're trying to get as many nonprofits as they can,
Yes.
and just again making it really fun and really collaborative. So let's cut to that video and take a look at this year's Comerica North Texas Giving Day event.
Supporting nonprofits on North Texas Giving Day is fun and rewarding, but where do you start? First, find your passion. Maybe it's healthcare or education or even helping our furry friends. There are 27 causes and more than 3,300 nonprofits to give to. Second, give with purpose, because when you give with purpose, you're more connected and inspired, and our communities thrive.
North Texas Giving Day is September 22nd. Join us and do something that matters. Find your passion, give with purpose.
Oh, I love to see it. It's so much fun, and just, again, it's that spirit, it's that excitement. That's another thing you guys do really well. How do you work to build the kind of awareness and excitement that you get around Giving Day?
Right. Well, with an online event, you have all this magic happening at northtexasgivingday.org, but obviously you have to bring the day to life. So we have events happening all across the region. I mean, now North Texas Giving Day serves a 20-county footprint. And I'm really excited about some of the unique events happening this September, from September 1st, where we're kicking things off at the Perot Museum all the way through the 22nd. There's going to be Dog Days of Denton. I mean, there are all types of events all over. And I think, watching that video too, Giving Day is all about, of course, building the organizational capacity of local nonprofits, but there's absolutely a celebratory air to it. I mean, as you know, working in the nonprofit sector, it's tough. And these thousands of nonprofits are working day in and day out. So there is this celebratory light aspect to it where nonprofits can just celebrate their mission. And so we're all about partnering with media partners to really create that sense of urgency, but also that celebration and trying to find those fun stories to highlight what's happening in the community.
Yeah. Speaking of fun, one of the reasons I love the North Texas Giving Day season so much is it's my chance to let out my creative side.
You really knock it out of the park, I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. So, some of the things I've done in the past, I've made music videos. One year I did what I called karaoke bombing, where I would just go into public and sing in inappropriate places, like the grocery store or whatever, and just bust out into karaoke singing.
You've done makeup, or let your daughters do your makeup.
That is right. I dyed my hair purple.
Yeah, you've been in costume.
I got, and I don't think we're going to be able to see it, but this is the logo that I got tattooed on my foot on a live stream as a fundraising challenge. But the part that kills me about this is our old logo. So when we changed the logo, and it's similar, it's not too far off, but when we changed the logo, I did have that minute of it's tattooed on my body.
No, it's an origin story.
Yes, exactly. It's the original logo. Yes. But yeah, we love to have a lot of fun with it. This year, just to give a little bit of what we're doing, is we've really created kind of a different campaign. And what we're doing is we've enlisted 12 local restaurants, and we have stickers that they're putting on all their takeout containers that just have a QR code about Giving Day and about Mommy's in Need. So look out for us at your favorite local restaurants. We are going to be at Palmer's and Olivella's, and we just have a ton of great places.
I love that.
But what we're going to do to make it a little bit even more fun is that at each of our partners, I'm going to be going and doing some kind of little challenge. Whether that's I'm working there and tossing pizzas, Westlake Brewery, I'm going to be a guest bartender. So we're going to do all these fun little, there may be some eating contests, there may be some just crazy challenges at our partnering restaurant. So if you don't already follow Mommy's in Need on all of our platforms, please do. We do a lot of Facebook Lives, so that's just Mommy's in Need. It'll be on Instagram at mommysinnneed.org. And then we also have a TikTok channel now.
All right.
So yeah, and so it's my TikTok channel that we use, which is at Natalie MIN 14. Oh my gosh, what is it? Tabitha, does that mean a minute? It'll be in the show notes. So check it out in the show notes.
The whole retail activation, that is a thing. I mean, Fat Straws is stepping up to promote Giving Day. We're seeing more and more restaurants and retail who want to engage their employees and who want to give back. So I think that's creative genius. I can't wait to see more.
Thank you. And yeah, it is one where they are, and the local community is they want to support nonprofits.
They do.
And it's just about asking. And, so I encourage all the other nonprofits out there, partnering with for-profit businesses for something like this. Obviously we have some of our matching funds coming from there.
Yes.
But some of the restaurants that can't afford aren't in a place to donate a huge amount of money are just making an impact by putting a sticker on their to-go containers.
Yeah, and I love that. And then I feel like that's just when the relationship begins between the business and the local nonprofit, because then we have seen employees wrap their arms around that nonprofit for the rest of the year and doing service projects or stepping up to serve on their board. So I love that.
Yeah, and you guys even have when people donate, they have a chance to also pledge volunteer hours. Isn't that correct?
Right. Yes, and we're seeing last year 1 in 5 North Texas Giving Day givers pledged time to support and roll their sleeves up. I mean, that's one of the things I find so interesting about North Texas is not only are we such an incredibly generous community, but we really want to roll our sleeves up and get into the mission and actively support. So it's a huge piece of North Texas Giving Day, and we actually have a lot of volunteer projects going on in September as well.
Okay, I love it. And I know we did get some volunteers last year that have been a part of it. And, it's also, I think one of the reasons that I think it's so fantastic is that almost nobody just donates to one, right?
That's exactly right.
I mean, I don't know if you know any stats off that, but.
Yeah, and I don't right now, but we have seen the multiple gifts per donor increase. And it's fascinating. I think one of my favorite aspects of Giving Day, it's really a day where anyone that we say, everyone can be a philanthropist, right? Find your passion, give with purpose. With over 27 different diverse cause areas, there's really something for everyone. But when you look at that 66 million, for example, that was raised last year, that's not 66 high wealth donors. I mean, we had over 100,000 givers last year, but almost half of the gifts were less than $100. Right? So this is like truly rallying the community to give what they can. Every gift matters. 94% of the gifts were less than 1,000. And you're exactly right. A lot of our givers have their tried and true dedicated charities that are their favorites, but then they're like, let me see what else is out there, right? Women, girls is a passion of mine, but also animals, also education.
Yep.
So we do see a lot of people just using the site as a search tool to learn what's happening out in the community.
Yeah, I know I save up all my donations and I always do them on Giving Day because a lot of organizations have a match or something else, which makes your dollar go further. And plus it's really fun.
Well,
so
my problem is I fall in love with new nonprofits every single year. And so it becomes a thing in the family discussion of exactly how much can we spend
on Giving Day.
On Giving Day.
I completely get it. I have the same thing. It's like, they're so good and there's so many, and like every group that we've had on this podcast has been phenomenal. And it's something the Dallas nonprofit community is so strong and it's so innovative.
Yes. Well, and to your point earlier about the collaboration, we have seen some of those partnerships come out of Giving Day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole goal is not, we don't just set up this platform and be like, okay, good luck, nonprofits, have at it. I mean, we build opportunities for nonprofits to network. We build up trainings and resources where you can build these connections and build these tools and honestly utilize them 365 days a year. But that's been another part of my favorite aspect of the day, is seeing partnerships and collaborations come out of, we met at this Giving Day event and now we're serving more, North Texans as a result of working together.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. So a couple other things just that we are doing this year that we're excited for. So we always do our Butterflies campaign. And so that is that for every donation that goes up of any size, we write the name of the donor, or sometimes they do in memory or in honor of somebody. And we write it, we put it on a butterfly on our wall. And so what that does is create this amazing collage of all of the givers. And then we keep it up as long as we can reasonably do it because it's so pretty. At some point we take it down because we've got to do a new one.
Right.
But yeah, so that's one of the things that we do.
I love that.
And then this year we already did our Comerica event, but we are doing, actually on Giving Day, we're hosting an open house. And so everybody who wants to can come see Annie's Place. So it'll be closed, there won't be kids there, and people can come, they can have a drink, they can check it out, hear about what we do, but also see our space at Annie's Place.
Yes.
So we definitely want to make sure to invite you guys to that. That'll be on the 22nd at our Annie's Place location. We're going to do it from 5:30 to 7. And again, we're going to put all this in show notes because I clearly didn't even know what my handle is on Twitter. So, we'll put all these things and all the ways to connect with us on that. So Caitlin, one of the things I wanted to share with you today, and I've known Caitlin for years, is how much of an impact North Texas Giving Day has had on mommies in need. And so, now first of all, the reason that North Texas Giving Day is so important for us is that when I first started Mommies in Need, I was like, I don't know how to raise money. I was figuring it out, right? We were small. We were running it out of my house. And somebody told me about Giving Day. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's our fundraiser. And it was really, other than a small party I had at my house, it was our first big fundraiser. North Texas Giving Day was. And so it became so important to us that we actually build our entire fundraising calendar around it. Giving Day is set. And so that's why we do our big galas in February. Everything else, we make sure we don't have anything come up that's going to conflict with Giving Day because that is so important to us. And so that very first Giving Day, we made $12,134, which
is astounding for a first-time nonprofit participating. That's incredible.
And that was huge to us at the time, right? I mean, that we had only 2 families. We were super small budget. So to get $16,000 of unrestricted money was just absolutely instrumental for us growing. Now, in 2021, so last year, we had 351 individuals donate and raised $154,845.
That is mind-blowing. I mean,
Right?
honestly, that is so incredible.
And again, like just thinking about like how this is and why I'm so grateful to Communities Foundation for providing this is, you know, I started this tiny little baby nonprofit, and Giving Day was something that helped, like just was a launch pad for us. We had over 100 people donate that first year, and a lot of them were new donors. They were people we didn't know. And so we started to build our list. Giving Day, every year, we acquire a ton of new donors. It helps us build that momentum, and that's what allows us to serve more and more and more people. So
Wow.
you want to hear our grand total for how
Yes.
much over? So coming up will be our 8th Giving Day.
gonna ask you,
So
okay.
it'll be
All
year
right.
8, but years 1 through 7, $536,000, $536,608 is how much we raised.
God.
Right?
Over $500,000.
Over $500,000.
Natalie, congratulations. So I'm curious. I have to ask because, you know, I talk to hundreds of nonprofits every year, brainstorming their campaigns. What are they doing? What works? So what do you think has been kind of the method, you know, to your magic? I mean,
So yeah, one of the big things that we did, especially when we were earlier on, just starting, is we picked a prize and we worked toward that prize.
Okay.
And so for us, those first few years, it was really working towards the individual donors, and there was a Texas Women's Foundation prize for the highest number of individual donors in a cause that supports women and children.
Yes.
And so we zeroed in on that.
Okay.
And we said, okay, we're going to do our campaigns not around dollar amounts, but around number of donors.
Yeah, that's so smart.
So we really targeted, and everybody we messaged where they were like, can we please just give $25?
Right.
That's the minimum for prizes. We're trying to win this. I think it was like a $4,000 prize.
Right.
And you know, so can you help us win this prize? And so then what happens is you ask for $25, but most people go on and donate more than $25.
Right.
And so it's an easy, you know, as you were
Okay.
talking about, everybody's a philanthropist.
Yes.
I think it's that piece of saying, I don't need you to donate like a huge amount to make a difference, because you're
Right.
one person, and if we can get enough one people, we win this big
Yeah.
prize. So I think that was one of our big, you know, one of the reasons that we were able to get so many donors, to acquire this new group of people. Another one is, I'd say, is the having fun with it.
Yes.
I think is one of the reasons we've done so well with Giving Day is, you know, I'm a giant goofball and I have no problem humiliating myself on camera. But it's one where I think not everybody has to go to the length of getting a tattoo on live stream, right? But I think it is, you know, a lot of nonprofits do work that is hard.
Right. Exactly.
And yes, it's creating an amazing impact, but it's also, you know, it's
Exhausting.
hard
Yeah.
and it's sad and it's, you know, all of those things. And I think people love to see the celebratory.
Yes.
They love to see the lighter side of an org. They love to see, you know, it's a great time to put together, not the most serious video you've ever done,
Right,
but like a
right.
cute, fun something and showing off the
Yes.
kiddos in your program. Or, I mean, if you have animals, you're like, set, right? We keep joking that we need to like buy a Mommy's in Need dog so we can just have it in all of our videos. But you know, it's that place of going, okay, well, let's be fun, let's be creative.
Yes.
And then people really like it.
Yes. And I would say it's a great space to just test and try things out.
Yeah.
You know, if you wanted to try out a certain message or focus on lapsed donors or focus on volunteers, it's a great just sandbox to try out different fundraising strategies. And I think too, a lot of your videos that you've done, I mean, it's been with your iPhone in your car, right? Or it's been in a parking lot. I mean, so it doesn't have to be, we're in this gorgeous studio today.
Yes,
But for your campaign, it doesn't have to be professionally produced.
Not at all. And really, this is the first year that we've had something like this to produce. We got ourselves a Tabitha last year, so that really upped the quality of our video. Because prior, it was really me doing a lot of it. So it's a lot of like selfies and wiggly phones and, you know, whatever else. But you're right. I mean, I think about something that was very successful for us was during the pandemic when Giving Day decided to do an extra Giving Day.
Yes.
Can you just tell us about that a little bit, and then I'll talk about
Yeah,
what we
absolutely.
did.
Well, March, everything shut down, March of 2020, and we were getting calls from nonprofits saying our spring fundraisers have been completely canceled, our spring productions, we can't provide the in-person programming and we can't charge for our earned revenue. I mean, nonprofits were really scrambling, right, in those first few months. Everyone was. And so we started talking about, well, could we pull something off, quickly? And then we quickly learned that United Way of Metropolitan Dallas was thinking the exact same thing. Like, how can we all support? So United Way and Communities Foundation of Texas and the Dallas Cowboys, we all came together very quickly. And because Giving Tuesday was also planning to do something. So it was just, we all were thinking we've got to do something now. And very quickly, within a matter of about 4 weeks, put on an emergency giving day, North Texas Giving
Now, I think.
Day now. And it was in May, and it didn't have all the bells and whistles, right? We didn't have prizes. We didn't have, obviously, any events, but it was, I'm so glad we did it. And we had never done a Giving Day. Obviously, it's an online event, but we had never done one completely 100% virtually.
Yeah.
So that was fascinating. And the response was phenomenal. And our community, once again, going back to the generosity of North Texans, showed up again in September. I mean, that's what was just so astounding as we were all kind of preparing, okay, everyone's given in May. I mean, a lot of family economics and individual economics changed. People were laid off or furloughed. And so we were really preparing and trying to prepare our nonprofits as well. This may not be the best Giving Day in September. And sure enough, the community showed up again. I just couldn't believe it.
And I think that was something that we definitely experienced is over and over and over again, the community showed up. And I think they recognized the need was greater. And so the people that had the ability to, they were giving bigger.
Yes.
And so I remember that because I was real nervous about that too. Because I was like, we just did this. Is anybody going to donate? And we did fantastic that year. And so it really is that piece. And so the thing I was going to say earlier about just working with what you've got is during that Giving Day now, I was actually in a quarantine because I'd had an exposure. So I really couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. And so I was like, well, what do I do? What do I do? And so I was trying to come up with something. And then last minute, I was like, okay, we were a little short on our goals. So I was like, what can I do from my house right now with no preparation? And I just went live streamed from my bedroom and performed in a cappella Hamilton. For about 2 hours, and I had the lyrics up in front of me, but I legit just did a Hamilton performance.
And you're amazing.
It was fun. Like I had a great time doing it, and it was like people got on, but it was literally like there was no production value. There wasn't even backup tracks because like I couldn't play. I was trying to play it, and then anyway. So yes, you can do anything, and you can make it fun and make it ridiculous, and it does not.
You just can't take yourself too seriously.
Yes,
it's all about the mission. It's not about us.
Yeah. So So with that, one of the things that we talk about is the whole point of culture of caring.
Yes.
It's about how do we care for our community. How do we, people that own businesses or run organizations, how do you care for your staff? How do you make this community better by showing that love and that caring for people? And I think CFT does so much of this in the community, but I just wanted to see, is there anything you wanted to share about how Communities Foundation has really embodied that culture of caring?
Yeah, I'm so grateful to work at Communities Foundation of Texas. What drew me there was the mission, but what has kept me there for the last 5 years is the mission and the people. And I would say, particularly during the pandemic, I mean, it was such a scary time and none of us knew what was going on. But CFT really took care of all of us. From the little things like, okay, how can we help you set up an office at home? Like little just tips and tricks and little stipends to get that whatever you needed, right? Because we're all
scrambling,
not ergonomically correct. Like, I used my ironing board for a desk for a while. I mean, you name it. And we had, trustees surprise us with, cookies one day, to honestly, no video meeting Friday, to now we all have the Calm app and additional, mental health services that have become available. It's really, really all the way around. How can we support our staff in real ways? How can we, it's okay if your child, your pet, whatever walks across in the middle of a meeting. I mean, we all really just showed up just as, authentically for each other virtually. And that meant the world, to feel supported in every way, and to be able to say one day, you know what, I'm not okay, and I need to take a minute, and we'll try again tomorrow. So it felt a very comfortable space, and I would say that support has continued and has evolved into new programming and services, because we're still, I know my son and my husband just got COVID a few weeks ago, so it's a kind of an ongoing cycle.
Yeah, well, and I will tell you that I think I speak for us as an organization, but I think for a lot of other organizations when I say that Communities Foundation is that embodiment of the culture of caring. I mean, you guys do so much for the nonprofit community and for the community at large. And I think, I'm thrilled that we got to have you on today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, Caitlin. And yeah, let's make this the best giving day ever.
Well, good luck with your campaign.
Thank you.
Early giving starts on Thursday, September 1, all the way through September 22nd.
That's right. And just to come to you one time, this is the first time I've ever made a direct ask on this podcast. But as I mentioned, North Texas Giving Day is our biggest fundraiser of the year. And even if that's only a $5 or $25 donation, that means it can make such an impact on us. And so I really would encourage you, if you've ever listened to this podcast and felt like it provided some value, then I would love for you to go onto northtexasgivingday.org /Mommies in Need, I think. But again, we've established I'm not good at remembering @ and slashes and whatever. So you can find us. We'll put it on the show notes. But we're so grateful to you, to everybody who's supporting this. And it ends September 22nd at midnight. So open now. You can go until September 22nd at midnight. Please consider making a donation to Mommies in Need. And we're really grateful to you. And we'll see you next time.
Culture of Caring with Natalie Boyle is brought to you by Mommies in Need, a nonprofit organization with the mission of caring for kids so that families can access health care. The podcast is hosted by Natalie Boyle, produced by Tabitha Evans and Real News Communications Network. If you have an idea for a topic or guest, or want to share a #FailedSoHard moment, email us at coc@mommiesinneed.org. Please remember to rate, like, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Video versions of the podcast are available on YouTube.